YouTube, it's your boy King Cobra back at it with another video. So I'm uploading a little mini series on YouTube called Woke Sucks. And I'll probably just do like 2 parts, keep it short, sweet, to the point. And like I said in my last part 1, I have no problems with trans people. Or gay people. I just don't like the extremist politics that surround these ideologies and woke culture as a whole. It's so fucking toxic. I like a bunch of white women in the radical left are weaponizing woke culture against us to fit some political agenda, and it's disgusting. I'll give you an example. Like, Ozzy Osbourne, happy early birthday, bud. We're gonna fucking celebrate super hard on my channel tomorrow for sure. Used to do drag for, like, music videos and shit. And he was just being goofy, being silly. It had nothing to do with his pronouns or his gender or sexuality. You hear a lot of people scream about how, like, your genitals don't define your gender or sexuality or any of that. But what you really should be saying is that what you wear, like clothing-wise, shouldn't determine shit. That society is based in gender stereotypes, so I understand that to a point. But at the same time, it's like, If you're a hetero, straight, cis-normative white male, otherwise known as a straight, heterosexual male who was born a male and you identify as a male and you're white, nobody gives a fuck about your pronouns. While everyone else is screaming, you have to respect everyone's pronouns. And I'm like, I'm not going to respect everyone's pronouns because fuck sickos and fuck serial killers. Now, one thing that really pissed me off about this whole ideology is back in the day, in Scotland, a man was convicted and found guilty of raping several women. And he showed up to court dressed up in drag, screaming at the world how he's transgender. He demanded to be thrown into a female prison. That's not how the law should work, because quite frankly, if you rape women and then demand to be thrown into a female prison because you don't want to get ass raped in jail by other men for what you did, because you're a coward and a piece of shit. The dude was taking advantage of woke culture and the transgender ideology, and quite frankly, it's disgusting. Did the judge in that case think to himself, that's not how prison works? And if you get raped in prison for raping other women, that's called karma, you fucking asshole. Did he think, do trans people need any more negative publicity? Nope. For fear of being canceled, keyboard coward pussy piece of shit, for afraid of being canceled, so afraid of woke culture and being canceled that they let the man go to that female prison anyways. He lasted 1 week before repeating his offense. And then he was immediately hauled off to a man's prison. And now in Scotland, if you're a dude and you're transitioning, you can still go to a female prison for your heinous crimes against women, but you have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're not going to be a threat to your fellow female inmates. And on top of that, in Scotland, if you misgendered somebody, you can get thrown in jail for a hate crime. Now, when J.K. Rowling comes out and says this is an outrage towards women and this should not be allowed, she immediately gets attacked for being transphobic. And she was allegedly, they tried to cancel her for it. And I'm like, well, first of all, if you identify as a woman, correct, then you're a woman, correct? Therefore, it's a woman's issue, regardless if you're trans or not. Second of all, it's like, you think about it from, like the way I just said it. You know, there are going to be some assholes who lie about their gender and shit because they're fucking asshole perverts and they're trying to take advantage of woke culture, and quite frankly, it's disgusting. You know, like these assholes, like these fucking assholes YouTube. I got no problems with trans people YouTube, but there are some assholes who are going to lie about it because they're trying to take advantage of political wokeness, and it's disgusting. Like if you're a dude, but you get yourself some fake boobs, and you get the hair, and then you get the facial reconstructive surgery, but you still have a penis and balls. It's like, okay, if you have a dick and balls, YouTube, you do not belong in the female locker room, period. And you want to make it all about your pronouns and your safe space. But what about everyone else's safe space? What about their pronouns? If you make everyone else, you make your fellow women, air quotation, feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You got a little girl and her mom trying to change in the locker room and feel safe and secure. If they feel unsafe because there's clearly a man in the locker room, you know, and it grosses them out, these people are being told, well, you're just transphobic. And you just suck it up, bigots. Okay, but if you make these trans people feel unsafe and insecure and unprotected, you're immediately canceled. And that would be what we call transgendered privilege, my friends. And people are going to take advantage of that because people are dicks. You know, the book, You Give a Mouse a Cookie. It's the truth. It's a perfect way to describe this. And it's like, here's a thought. If you still have a dick and balls, then you have to change in the men's locker room. I don't care if it makes you feel uncomfortable, because quite frankly, it makes everyone else feel uncomfortable. And that's what pisses me off about our society, is it becomes a he said, she said moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you either have to give trans people their own locker rooms, or fucking, if you still got a dick and balls, you're changing in the men's locker room. End of discussion. Then me, this dude right here, King Cobra JFS, 1,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. What's up? Like I said in part 1 of this video, which has got 7 minutes left to upload, I'm very progressive. I'm a straight ally to a point, but when I say to a point, there's only so much you can tolerate before you're just like, wait a minute. Speaking on the whole trans disabled thing, there are people out there who think that they belong in a wheelchair. They don't need it for medical reasons. They were not born handy-capable. They just do it because that's how they feel. And they'll get surgeries to remove sections of their spine so they have to use it. And quite frankly, it's a slap in the face to people who are medically dependent on these devices. It is. It's disgusting. And I'm like, where's the alcohol? It's Ozzy Osbourne's birthday tomorrow. I believe he's turning 76, and I'm excited to celebrate it. You know, that'd be like me identifying as Ozzy Osbourne. You know, people look at me like, okay, Cobra, we get you're a super fan, but that's not how it works, bud. Calm down. That was just an example. I know who I am. Josh Saunders, the legendary Gothic King Cobra. You know, it's bloody fucking stupid. It's like, no one's saying you can't be trans. But for health reasons, wait till you're 18 or older and you've gone through puberty as the gender you are assigned. You know, or better yet, wait till you're 21 and up. You're old enough to drink, you're old enough to smoke, you're old enough to vote. We're just saying when we call out your bullshit and try to make sense of how confusing it is, we get called a bigot. Let me ask the trans people this. What if somebody identified as trans, but they did nothing to show support for the community, or use pronouns, or get the surgery? They just wanted the attention. Would you not, as a trans person, feel like, hey, you're violating your beliefs and who you are as a person, etc.? Because that's exactly how cisgendered women feel when it comes to this issue sometimes. You're not a woman, you're a trans woman. You're in a separate category. You're not a man, you're a trans man. You're in a separate category from... And a lot of people are going to be pissed off about Trump's regime policies, but I quite frankly agree, because when the adults are screaming at you to respect my gender, but you can't even define what gender is. You want to say that there are like 10 billion genders out there, and it's like, okay, who has time to memorize every fucking gender pronoun you think exists? No, there are only two genders, male and female. And then that creates a lot of in-between. Now, if you want to be... I say there's 4 genders. That's just my opinion. Male, female, transgender, hermaphrodite / other. But that's just my opinion, because I'm trying to be more inclusive here with this video. And like I said in part 1, I don't have a problem with trans or gay people. I have a problem with the woke culture and the extremists and the ideologies. And the problem with woke culture is, they talk down to you like you're stupid, like they're better than you, and they're all-knowing, and it's just so self-centered and condescending. Like, it's good to be a little bit woke and informed on the issues and, like, hear all sides of the argument before you make your own conclusion on the situation, but outside of that, and people are sick and tired of woke culture. That's why we all voted for Trump. And you can sit here and scream about how Trump's this, Trump's that, blah, 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 blah. But the only reason the Democrats picked Kamala Harris is because she's a woman of color, and if you don't vote for her, they can play the whole, you're a sexist and a racist card. And it's like, well, you're not allowed to agree with her policies without being called a racist or a sexist. See, that's why I hate politics. If a woman of color were to just say she doesn't like Trump, I couldn't call her and say, that's because you hate white men, huh, you racist and you sexist. It wouldn't play out like that. I'd probably get slapped. She'd be like, you never hear the end of it. And I'm not here to pick on anyone specifically, but that's exactly how it is. Amaretto, 1 second, with cherry Coke and peach Jack Daniels. Not half bad. Now, quite frankly, I hate sexism. I hate racism. I hate transphobia. I hate gay phobia. As long as you're not a sicko, why can't we all just get along? You know, that's why I preach power to the people on my channel. I'm not a bad person. I see bullshit, I call it out. And I'm not afraid to be myself, you know? It's what it is. I put myself out there. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about me. If I gave a fucking shit about what people thought about me, I'd stop doing my thing, you know? Part 1's about to hit the fucking video streamings. Let me ask you this. If trans people are made to feel unsafe in their safe spaces, people are immediately called out, canceled, and harassed for it. When they do it to everyone else, we're told to tolerate it. That's called hypocrisy. Mm. Like I said in part 1, people will use words like tranny and faggot to make fun of me for being a hetero, cis-normative, straight white male who wears goth makeup. It's a way to insult trans and gay people. It's a way to insult me for being a straight ally and make fun of me for dressing goth. And I can't go around screaming, well, I'm going to cancel you. Because no one cares about my fucking pronouns while they scream about how everyone else is supposed to care about theirs. And it's like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't have to respect everyone's pronouns. Because I'll say it again. Fuck serial killers and fuck sickos. Fuck incels. Fuck femcells. And the libtards are just losing their shit because Trump won the election. They didn't get their way, so now they're acting like immature assholes about it, screaming on TikTok and shaving their head. You know, 4 years from now, when Trump's no longer president and we have a new president, you're going to regret acting like this because it makes the radical left look psychotic. But you know, the Trump supporters are the ones that are radical, right? And truth be told, yes, Trump is going to have some very radical supporters. And it's sad. But Trump cannot control what his supporters do. All Trump can do is control what he does. Just like blaming Kamala Harris or Joe Biden for their radical supporters, you'd hear the same argument, dude. So like these 4B bitches are gonna swear off sex, dating, starting a family. And they're saying no to men. Now, as a man who's gone 6 years without having a girlfriend, it ain't gonna affect me much. It ain't gonna affect me much, to be honest. Like, well, if you don't want to date, have sex, start a family, and you want to swear off men for the next 4 years because your cunt hurts because Trump's president, do what you want, Sister Sledge. It's your body, it's your rights. Then you're going to be twice as miserable because you ain't getting any dick. And then you're going to bitch and complain that you can't find a good guy to date. And it's like, well, you can't go on TikTok and bitch because you can't find a good man to date. But then go around on that same platform and swear off men because Trump's president. And Trump doesn't give a shit if these women swear off all these things. Trump doesn't give a shit about the 4B movement. He's going to tell you the same thing. It's your body. Do whatever makes you feel happy. He's got a country to run, goddammit. And a lot of women love to scream about what a convicted rapist that Trump is. Well, here's something to think about. One, if Trump was guilty of the things that people said he did, how come he's not in jail? And two, if Kamala Harris were convicted of rape, nobody would believe it because of all the negative stereotypes that men have to face. That all men are rapists, sexist, asshole pigs who only want one thing, and it's only called rape when men do it. But when women do it, it's called sexual liberation. If a man tries going to the cops and saying a woman raped him, no one's going to take him seriously. And they'll be like, bro, how was it rape? You got laid. Pound, fist bump, dude. Pound it. Like Bill Barr said, women who scream about how they want to be treated just like men, no the fuck you don't. You just want all the good shit. And that's not how equality works. Shaving your head, screaming how you're done with men and having sex and trying to start a family and you're done with dating, that's not going to affect jack shit. When you're having a mental breakdown on YouTube, screaming as loud as you can, crying your fucking eyes out because you didn't win, you didn't get the Kamala Harris you wanted. Realistically, how can you take a woman seriously when her first name has the word cum in it? But that's neither here nor there. Another cameo shout out. Sweet. The people are sick and tired of all the extremist, woke, ideologic bullshit. We're sick and tired of being talked down to like we're stupid. Like, all the woke side's better than us. Fuck you.